Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one lined up for you today. ADA Cardano has a big announcement. Very exciting stuff going on this morning. Is the SEC getting close to launching or approving, rather, a BTC Bitcoin ETF? We'll get into it. Largest banks are into crypto. And guess what else? Coinbase. Oh, they got a plan for the future. And it's Amazon style, baby. You're going to want to know about it. U.S. infrastructure and crypto bill, but how will the Treasury and the IRS treat crypto based on the language in that bill? We'll talk about that as well. And guess what else we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about the price of XRP and where it's going. We got room to run, baby. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove, and everything that we're talking about here today. $1.95 trillion for the cryptocurrency market cap. Remember, $2.5 trillion plus was our all-time high for the crypto market cap. We are creeping back up that hill. And when we hit that $2.5 trillion mark again, which I don't think will be too long from now, it'll be nothing but new money coming in. Who's upset about that? Not this guy. Bitcoin over $46,000 right now. Ethereum over $3,200 right now. Oh my goodness gracious. Cardano is kicking ass at $2.13. Shout out to Charles. They got some great news coming in. And XRP is $1.14. And I'll tell you right now, I'm excited about Cardano because, ladies and gentlemen, I just funded my iTrust Capital account. And by the way, if you're wondering, what's better than crypto? It's tax-free crypto, baby. And that's what I got with my IRA with iTrust. Make sure you click the link in the description and the comments section. It is the best crypto, gold, silver IRA on the planet, bar none. And I can't wait because I'm getting ADA in there because there's some good news coming up, not financial advice. 114 is where we are right now for the XRP price. Those that said it would never be $1 again, please pack your things and go, right? Because you were wrong. And there it is, 114. We've been as high as 118. $1 is the bottom side of the XRP price range right now. And we are going to get into the news this second. Hall of Famer Michael tells us Cardano's team has confirmed that smart contracts are scheduled to launch on the blockchain with the Alonzo hard fork on September 12th. Come on in, Charles Hoskinson. You know, this guy is so smart, and I love to listen to him talk about the overall crypto space as well as what's going on with Cardano. Brilliant guy. Like it a lot. Like what he's doing. Look at here. This is U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Gary Gensler gave what may be termed the strongest sign of support from the agency for a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. It says here that he gave the strongest signs for support, but what's interesting is when I go down into this article, I don't see where he gave the strongest sign for support. They don't cite really what it was, and I'm going to go through this very quickly. Exchange Commissioner Gary Gensler gave what may be termed as the strongest sign of support from the agency for a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, yet crypto community is not exactly thrilled. U.S. regulators have yet to approve the BTC ETF, although more than a dozen companies have filed for approval. Speaking to Kitco News, crypto trader and analyst Scott Melker, known as the Wolf of All Street, shout out to Scott, put forward his stance on the importance of a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, which he saw as a critical development in crypto space that will open the floodgates of institutional money. This would create a possibility for Bitcoin to become a six-figure asset. He further added, the approval of an ETF would be the biggest single event in the history of Bitcoin for that large wall of money to have the confidence to enter. Pension funds, endowments, sovereign wealth funds. They will come in when there's an ETF. That would be a catalyst for real institutional adoption of Bitcoin, a regulated asset that they can trust and that is vetted by their risk managers and by the SEC. Now, I have to say, this is why I like Scott Melker. If you're not following him, you should, because I believe that this is exactly right. If you see an exchange-traded fund get approved for something like Bitcoin, there will be massive money move into that that position, and it will push it to the moon, as they say. So shout out to Scott Melker on that point. I just think that's a really great point, because that's a product where you can get exposure to it without actually holding the asset. Right there, you go. This is more evidence that at some point we will see something like a Bitcoin ETF, because over 100 of the largest banks in the world, asset under management, AUM, reportedly have exposure to cryptocurrency and blockchain technology in one way or another. And this speaks exactly to the point that I believe Scott was making more specifically about ETFs. They are ready to take a position in this new emerging asset class. And you know what? Coinbase is ready to help them. But let's look at this first, because I thought this was interesting. Because here you have this new company, Coinbase, with a new technology and these new digital assets. Well, Intel, the very long-lived company that's been around for a long time, has got a lot of Coinbase shares. And I thought that was interesting, because Intel has had its hand in various blockchain endeavors in the past, including offering a Hyperledger Fabric based on blockchain solution, which we're all aware of as well. So yeah, over $500,000 or $1 million worth of was it $500,000 to $1 million at the time of publication of Coinbase shares for the company Intel, that has been around since dates back to the 60s. So there you go. I mean, this is when you're seeing these companies take a position and they like, you know what? I like what Coinbase is doing. And I bet that they do, because they've been crushing it, right? Look at this. Look at this. Coinbase could be the best fintech play with billions in revenue and net income after Q2 blowout. Coinbase just announced a Q2 blowout across the board, including verified users, monthly transactions users, trading volume, revenues, and profits. Coinbase has a 79.1 net income conversion ratio, and it generated over $1.6 billion of net income in Q2 alone. And their profits are continuing a growth trend. Compared to Square, Shopify, Coinbase looks cheap as it generates large profits than both companies with a fraction of the market cap. Coinbase has tremendous growth potential, as only 30 of the top 60 assets by market cap are offered on their platform. Now, looking here, Coinbase says we're not done yet. If you think that's impressive, take a look at this, because we aim to become the Amazon of crypto, says the CEO of the exchange, and this is what they're talking about here. Coinbase wants to list all legal cryptocurrencies. Coinbase revealed a plan during Q2 earnings call that Brian Armstrong, the CEO, explained, "We at Coinbase always think about longer-term cycles of crypto. We're always looking to longer-term trends." He described two key trends affecting Coinbase. One, they were continuing to see a trend with people using crypto for more and more things beyond trading. He added, for example, we now have 1.7 million users doing staking in crypto, which is a way to earn a yield on your assets. I do that with Algo. I get an interest on that. It's amazing. He says the second big trend we're seeing is this idea of Coinbase embracing decentralization. Come on in. We want to be the Amazon of assets. List every asset out there in crypto that's legal. Ooh, there's thousands of them today. There are eventually going to be millions of them. This is all under the theme of embracing decentralization. Armstrong emphasized, we have a very rigorous process we've created on the compliance and on the legal and cybersecurity evaluation of these assets to make sure they comply with those standards. But once we get comfortable with that, we want to list various assets that meet those listing criteria. How about that? He further noted, Bitcoin and Ethereum still make up 50% of our trading volume, and the other 50% is long tail of all other assets that they support. No single one of those long tail assets accounts for more than 10% of our trading volume, so it's really starting to become quite a diverse set of assets out there. I tell you, the Amazon of crypto, baby. That's what Coinbase is after. And with that public offering that they did just a couple months ago, I tell you, it's going to be something to witness. I really do believe that. And again, don't forget that before we go on, check out Link2, because Coinbase was offered as private equity on that platform for $32 a share. And then it IPO'd for a little over $400. So That's the kind of swings and gains you can get if you get the right pick in a private equity company. Pretty amazing stuff. Link2.com. Looking right here, citing an unnamed official, Bloomberg said Treasury won't go after crypto firms that don't meet the tax code definitions of a broker. Let's take a look at this, because what I find interesting here is that the Treasury statement, which is not yet public, could provide a workaround by effectively limiting the bill's scope to those classified as brokers under the tax code. But it's not entirely clear that the carve-out would combat the concerns of the bill's staunchest opponents. According to Cornell Law, the U.S. tax code defines a broker as A, a dealer, B, a barter exchange, and C, any other person who, for a consideration, regularly acts as a middleman with respect to property or services. The Treasury is reportedly planning to exempt non-broker parties on a case-by-case basis, a far cry from the more sweeping exemptions the industry had sought. Now, with that being said, I want to offer this because, with the U.S. infrastructure bill, we could see, that language change there. And if the legislation defines it further and gets it right where they didn't get it done in the Senate. And truthfully, they did get it done, but because of Shelby out of Alabama and, and one or two others there, they held the whole thing up. There was actually a great bipartisan effort in the Senate to get the amendment for crypto. However, they didn't get it voted on in a unanimous vote because of the Alabama Senator Shelby, who held things up there because of his own wish list. But the reality is it was a great bipartisan effort. And I think you're going to see something close to that happen in the House of Representatives and hopefully get the amendment necessary to change the verbiage to where there is no gray area and there will not need to be a case-by-case basis on how to determine who is or isn't a broker. My God, can we get past this whole, picking winners and losers, right? Enforcement, regulation through enforcement. It's like, how about let's get the defined regulation the way we need it to be, and everybody can just go to work knowing what it is. Let's get to it. Dark Defender is back. He's one of the technical analysts we love here on this channel, as many, many others. Crypto Wizard, Crypto Bull 2020, Crypto Maniac, and Crypto Wizard, and Dark Defender, and Coins Kid, and so many other Crypto Toes. So many of you out here that we really love to follow. Dark Defender's back, baby. And he says right here, when we talk the previous RSI relative strength index tops into consideration, XRP still has room to continue her uptrend in daily chart. He's citing the tops here, and he's showing you there's still room to go to get to the top here. Most of your buying opportunities, I know people that actually trade primarily off of the RSI. Like they look for buy-in spots, like areas like this. Right. And they're like, you know what? It's hitting here. I'm buying in and I'll just ride it. Right. So that's the kind of power the RSI can really have for showing buy and sell volume. Right. What's going on. So looking at this, or not buy and sell, but relative strength index. Right. So which really represents that. But nevertheless, he's talking here that based on number one explanation, the first correction probably will occur at about $1.47. So he's looking at this area right up here, and we're getting through this area, and we could get up here just above the $1.40 where we see this right here. 147 at the 78.60 mark, right? And you see the fib in the background there. So very cool. And then if we get past that, the correction, right, you'll see a little bit of rollback correction on price, and maybe even before then getting up there, because, very rarely do you see just straight parabolic move, but not that it can't happen. So if we see the fight and it gets up itself to 147, the next place we're going to look to go to is 196, baby. And you know what? Let's hear from a couple others, because we know 140 is in the sights now from Crypto Wizard, and maybe even beyond, which is interesting because it lines up with the 147 Dark Defender's talking about. And then we talk about Coins Kid, who says we could be looking, we get past the 109, which we did. We get up into where we are now, 117. We were looking at 120. We get past that, and we're going up to the 140 plus. And then beyond that, we could be pushing and talking about a $4.55 XRP in the very near term. And then we have this. Crypto Maniac says, you know what? I'm not even going to deal with the minute by minute, day to day. I'm telling you, before we get to the end of this year, it's $12 to $18 in his target. And anything above it is a bonus. Now, that's the kind of talk I love right there. And that's going to do it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, PureVPN is the best way to help hide your anonymity online. It's one of many different ways that I use to help hide mine. And you can check it out for 99 cents, 7-day free trial. And Ledger Nano, if you don't want to keep your crypto on an exchange, you can put it on a Ledger Nano. They got a lot of great deals. Make sure you check the links in the description and the comment section to make sure you get them. And more importantly, they are trusted, vetted links. I'll catch all of you on the next one.